Hey there, home sellers. My name is Kasha, and today we're talking about the 5 things that you should immediately remove from your living room before you sell your house. Hey there, home sellers. Welcome back. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kasha, and in today's episode, I want to talk about these pictures that I've looked online for houses that are on the market, currently on the market, and I want to share with you some things that I found because there were some houses that still needed some help that could look so much better if they had just taken these things out. And this will help you as a home seller because remember, I talked to you about this before, your house is in competition with the other houses. So you want to make your house stand out better than the ones that I'm going to show you in these photos. So take a look. Okay, so I wanted to give you a few examples of houses that I've staged in the living rooms to kind of give you an idea as to what we're kind of looking for. And then I'm going to show you the 5 things that you should immediately remove. So when it comes to this one, this was a living room. We had taken out a whole bunch of things that were taken out. I should have shown you a before picture. But this is kind of a living room of what it should look like, okay? We've got the couches arranged, we've got some greenery, some color. You can see yourself sitting here enjoying movies with the family. So there are things that you can do and make this room look presentable, right? This is another living room. This is a smaller one. Again, some chairs, a couch, some accessories, some artwork. A rug, if you don't have a rug, something like that. Obviously, this little cord you can't do much about, but again, it's just a nice, neat living room. And then this last one, this was a bit more higher end of a home. They had built-in cabinets. We added some artwork, got some throw pillows in there, added some color. And again, it's just a nice living room, nicely staged, okay? So let me share with you the first thing that you need to do to remove immediately. And that is dead animal heads. Now, I wish I would have gotten the picture for this listing of the living room that's behind this kitchen, but this is one of the things that you should immediately remove are these dead animal heads. There should not be in here any kind of taxidermy of anything should be in the house unless you're selling a log cabin or a hunter's lodge. This is not one of those. This is not one of those houses. So I would highly recommend taking those down. That's probably your prized possession. I know you're probably very proud of it, and you should be for those bucks there. Holy cow, look at those, I don't know, 10 point, maybe more than that. I don't know. I'm losing count here, but you know what I mean. When it comes time to sell your house, please take down dead animal heads. The second thing I have for you are outdated items. Those should be like this curio cabinet right here. That should be taken out. Basically, it's just collecting clutter, okay? There's a little tchotchkes. Anything that's just too small that fits in your hand is too small and shouldn't be out anyway. But I would take out these little wall sconces are outdated. This light fixture, kind of, yeah, I would put something else in there. But everything else is fine, but yeah, the curio cabinet, definitely the light fixture, and these wall sconces, totally outdated, okay? And this is another one that I have for you. Let me see if I can see. But the floral print curtains, those I would just take down, remove, if you don't have anything to replace it with. These old candles type of thing. Some of these chairs are fine, but basically these excess chairs back here, these really should not be staying here. There's enough chairs in here. There's enough seating in here. These are probably dining room chairs is what they are. They don't need to be there. There's just excess, too much, and it's outdated anyway, okay? Hey there, home sellers. If you are listening to these tips and wondering, if only I could have Kasha help me out here. Well, you're in luck. I do offer online home staging consultations, and this is something that I don't need to be in your town to help you. We meet online through Zoom or whatever other platform we can find to actually walk through walk through each room in your house so that we can discuss what needs to be edited, what needs to be added, what we can do to make your house look fantastic so that buyers will come flocking to your open house so that you can get your house sold faster. So I'll leave a link in the show notes below, but just so you know, these consultations can take up to 2 hours, so you definitely want to make sure that you have enough time to do this consultation. But we go through everything, and I'm the kind of person that don't hold back. I tell you exactly what you need to do to make your house look fantastic so that you're ahead of the competition. Like I said, I'll leave the link in the show notes. Family photos are another thing to remove immediately when it comes time to sell your house. Mainly because you're trying to get the homeowners to, or the home buyers, sorry, to imagine themselves living in there. And I know you're probably going to fight me against this and say, oh no, I want to see the family photos. These actually are kind of randomly scattered all over this wall anyway. So number one, it's just not grouped together properly, okay? So I would just take them down. But they're also up too high in certain spots. So just family photos in general should be immediately taken down. I'm sure you probably have them either on the wall, on a back, sofa table or something like that, on a side table. But the other part that's wrong with this room is this random table and a lamp just kind of there. So there's just all sorts of things wrong with this photo. But this is actually a photo that I found online, a house that was, to be sold. This is another one with some family photos. Now, while they're very nice oil paintings, again, you could put something else here that's a landscape photo or a mirror or something like that, but just take them down. Everything else is perfectly fine in this beautiful living space. But these photos, just take them down, okay? Toys. Now, this one isn't that bad, but again, there's family photos all over here, right? And then the kids' toys, which to me means that there's no other room for these toys to go into. That's what that's telling me, that there's not enough storage. You can't put the toys anywhere else. So you're thinking, oh, this house might be too small for us. It may not have enough rooms for what we want to do. You don't want to show that when it comes to your house, okay? So again, family photos, no toys, whether it's kids' toys, pet toys, any kind of toys like that, they just should not be in the living room. So immediately take those out of the living room, okay? They just don't belong there. And then the last thing I have for you is excess furniture. Ooh, I found this listing online and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's just too much going on in here. So this is the view from the dining room into the living room. There's just too much going on here. You've got a dining table with like a keyboard. You've got too much stuff on the walls. Look, there's family photos on here. There's a fireplace back here, but you can't really see it. There's a random table. There's just a lot, too much stuff going on in here in this living room, okay? So there's a lot of stuff that just needs to be packed away, needs to be sold, donated, whatever it is, but it just needs to be removed and edited to help sell this house. This is another living room that I found that just had excess chairs, like all these little chairs. This little set should maybe be outside on the porch back there. There's another chair here, another rocking chair here. There's just too many chairs. There's enough. There's a little love seat here, and there's a couch over here. You don't need all this extra stuff back here. Just take it out, because this chair is actually blocking the view of this probably beautiful, you don't know if there's a pool back there, there's a nice deck. The plant could probably be moved over, but it's fine, it's not that tall. But this one just blocks the view. It just gets in the way. So it really shouldn't be there. So all of these things right here, I would totally remove and either sell it, move it into the garage, whatever, move it into a different room that may need extra space and extra seating. But this one does not. Here are examples of some other nicely staged living rooms. I found this one. So again, this one has no toys. There's just some minimal artwork. There's nice lighting. There's some accessories here just to bring in a little bit color, because otherwise it's kind of beige and plain. But it's nice. It's nothing fantastic, but it's just nice, calming. You can see yourself sitting in this living room and having a conversation. Maybe put a TV up here if you want to, but the painting is nice to have that there instead of a TV over the fireplace. This one is another example of a nicely staged living room. This large, very large sectional, but it works. It really does. There's a nice seating area here by the windows. There's no toys, there's no family photos, but there's a nice clock, there's some plants in here, there's a nice credenza, an piece of artwork would have been nice here, but this is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with this. This is a great space here for a living room. Can you imagine sitting in here and sitting in front of the fire in this living room? Okay, and here are some extra bonus runs. Oh my gosh, I just found this picture and I'm like, I have to share this with you guys. This was actually a listing that they had all this stuff. This is from the living room into the dining room, so you can tell. So I'm not talking about dining rooms, but I just wanted to show you this picture of all this stuff here that's just trash. It just doesn't belong. Why would you take pictures of this room? The wall color doesn't go with the curtains. It's just, wow. Yeah, no, please don't allow your house to be photographed like this, okay? There could have just been extra, just taking things out would have helped, okay? And this is the other side. This is actual, what should be probably a living room because there's a front door right here. But again, just if you had, you have this coffee table, but it's covered with all this clutter. Again, the walls are just not the right color with the door and the curtains. They don't go and they don't complement each other. More trim here there's just a lot of things wrong with this room. So I really hope that you guys don't do this when it comes time to selling your house. But yeah, this would have been fine if you put, the piano over here, but there's just a lot going on that should not be going on, does not look like a living room. So I hope this gives you guys something to think about of the 5 things you should immediately remove from your living room when it comes time to staging and selling your home. Those things that I talked about, we talked about excess furniture, we talked about photos, we talked about toys, we talked about dead animal heads, oh my gosh, and then outdated things. So definitely take a look around your living room right now. Take a look and see, do I have any of those 5 things? Hopefully not, but if you do, now you know, you should just take those down immediately to help sell your house. So thanks again for watching. I really hope that this is something that you guys have learned something from. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel or to my podcast channel if you're listening to this on audio. I would love to help you out with any future home staging tips, so that way you can catch all the next episodes. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!